If you would like to know what Lincoln cents to look for from 1920 to 1929, the semi-key dates and the varieties like the double dies and the RPMs, then watch this video. My name is Daniel and you are watching Coin Help You YouTube channel. Thanks for watching my latest video. We're going to go date by date and mint by mint and look at the double dies, the varieties, and the semi-key dates that you can find from 1920 to 1929. Please like, share, and comment, and click the little bell beside the subscribe button. And I always want to remind everyone that there are three values for Lincoln cents. You have brown, brown, and red. They all have different values. Most coins that you run into are going to be brown because red is the most valuable and the more rare condition to find them in, especially when it comes to the early wheat cents. Also, I'm using PCGS Coin Facts, Wexler's Double Dies, Konica's Variety Vista, and coppercoins.com. Those are all good resources, and you can use them all together to find all the varieties and images and die marks that you need. Now, some of these dates and mints do have more than one double die, more than one RPM. You have to identify each one of these by their pickup points or pups, which are called die marks. They must match exactly or they're not the variety that you see in these images or that you find online. So with that, let's get started. When it comes to the 1920s, most of these dates and mints are ignored by dealers and collectors. They'll look for dates like with an S mint mark up to 26S. After that, they get more common. Everybody knows about the 22D and the no D, and there's even a weak D. The 24D is a little better date, but for the most part, most people are overlooking these, and you can find some decent coins. You can find some varieties. What we're looking at here is the 1920S, and it's the double die obverse, and it has what is an extra strong eyelid, and there's no other significant die marks. So you're just looking for that little area on the eye. Now, don't mistake this for contact marks. Contact marks you can see here and here, they can actually imitate a double die when it's very slight and there's no other marks on the coin to signify it or no other doubled areas. Next is the 1921S. This is a double die obverse. This shows the extra thickness in the E, the P, and the L. You can see it more prevalent here. It's very slight, very minor. This is one of the coins that you'd have to look at really close, maybe get some help identifying it. One of the things to look for is you see how this is kind of normal. Right here it's thicker, a little bit up here on the 2, just a little bit. I mean, you're not talking about a coin that's going to be worth a lot of money unless it's higher grade. A lot of these 1920s with mint marks, if they're in the mint state grades, they're already worth a little bit anyway. So it's worth looking for them if you can find a little mint state example. Here's the 1922D. It's a semi-key date. This is a very popular date, especially when you get to the 22 no D. And the 22 no D means there is no D at all. I mean, there's no remnants whatsoever. And you do have a weak D. One of the best ways to tell these is that the reverse is going to be struck strong because it was the obverse that was messed with. It's the obverse that had the issues, where the mint employees accidentally removed the mint mark trying to save the dies and trying to prolong the life of the dies. So it's a low mintage year anyways, and without the mint mark, it's worth a lot more. It's actually, you know, when you're looking at extra fine 45, it's 23.50. Typically, if you find one in the lower grades, we'll scroll down through here, fine 15 is 625, all the way down to G4, 475. That's comparable to the 1909 SVDB. Here is the 1923, and this is a double die obverse. You got a little bit of thickness here. The 9s on these kind of look a little odd. That's how you know, and here's the 2. Because they just look a little thick at the bottom, a little bottom heavy on the stem. On the E, you can see. It shows little other areas, a little die mark. Also a little thickness, These are lower grade coins. Here's the die mark here. And some die marks above the Liberty. One thing about these is they're circulated. And that helps you identify them better because more than likely you're going to find one circulated yourself. And you definitely want to be able to know the difference between contact marks and circulation wear, where it kind of flattens the letters out and the numbers out on the coin. That seems to happen a lot with these, and they've been in circulation for a long time, and that's one of the reasons. 1924 plain. This is a double die reverse, and as you can see, there's just thickness on the pluribus and the E and the P and the unum Looks like a little bit on the stem right here. Just these are little areas that you look at. I mean, if you can look at the stem and see this, then you can look at the rest of the coin and say, oh, this might be the double die, and that's how you identify these. It's one of the best ways, is just to look for one thing that is on this. But remember, it doesn't matter if one part has a die mark and the rest of it's not doubled. It's still not that double die. You don't get by with that. It has to have the double die as well. And the 24D is an actual semi-key date. It's a lower mintage. As you can see in the lowest grades here, 30 bucks, $32, 25S. This is a double die verse. You can see thickness in the 9 and in trust, Liberty. Here's the 25S repunched mint mark. Now, for those of you that are just watching this video for the first time and haven't heard about repunched mint marks, the mint marks on these were hand punched all the way up to 1989. So when they punched the first one, sometimes it was out of position incorrectly or too weak. They would repunch it again. And that's how you get the repunched mint marks. Sometimes you have triple repunched and quadruple. Here's the value of some of the 25S's repunched mint marks. You can see they're kind of low, but these are all back in 2006 and 2005, 4. You know, values. You don't see a lot of these come up for auction. They need to be in really higher grades to be worth the money. But you know, they still have a little bit of value to them and are worth finding. A lot of these coins are not worth a lot of money, but you know, they're just something to find, something to look for. And you know, this is a hobby. You can do a lot of things with your time. So anyways, here's the 26S. This is a little better date and mint that people look for. Has a little bit of value in the lower grade. I mean, if you find one in very good 8, you're looking at 12 bucks, 10 bucks in a good 4. Here is the 26 plain, which is a double die verse. You've got the eyelid again here. You got a little bit, just look for that. When you look at the center of that coin and you see that, then you can look at the rest of the coin and see if there's other areas that signify this with the die marks, and you know, look for the die mark on the reverse. That's how you do this. But it has to have this along with this. It can't just have this or this and then you say, oh, it's this double die. It doesn't work that way. A 1927D double die of verse. Another little extra eyelid here. And also it shows the RPM. It's the D over D. And this is a kind of a neat one to find. As you can look through and you can see the die marks and other little areas to look for. Here's the 1927 double die of verse. You see a little bit of the double die here. See the thickness. And this is the 27D, and this is the D over D. This is the tilted, just like the other coin, a little dual variety. Here's the 27S, double die of verse. You can see the little extra eyelid. A lot of these are known for an extra eyelid. That's what you look for. There's a little area on the reverse to look for as far as the die mark's concerned. Here's the 1928D, and this is the double die reverse. And you can see the thickness. And you see patterns here. You look at the eyelids and look at the E pluribus unum on these when you're looking at the reverse, and look at the stem. It's pretty easy to pick up things if you know what to look for, just what area to concentrate on, because you try to look at the whole coin and it can throw you off or take up too much time, and then you never find anything because you get bored after about 2 or 3 rolls, and it's really difficult to maintain your focus when you know just to look for a certain area. And if it's not there, you can move on. Unless you're into trying to find discovery coins, you can map them all out. That takes a lot of time. Here's a 28D, and this one here is the D over D. It's a mint mark, RPM. You can see it right here, a little extra. Here's what the Liberty looks like, and here's a little die mark on the reverse. It all helps to identify these. Here's a 1928P, and it's a double die reverse. You see the little die marks here and here, but you got that eyelid again. It's a little beat up, and that's one of the things you want to watch out for. Make sure you're looking at the double eye, double die, and not contact marks. It's very important to get that. It's very important to understand that. Here's a 1928P. It's a double die verse, and the doubled areas are on the date, especially on the 8 here you can see, and on the 2. Here's what the other areas of the coin look like. This here is just a little carbon spot, just a little toning area. It's not a die mark or anything. Same here. And see how thin that looks? When they're doubled, they're thicker. That's one of the things you got to notice on these. It's good they had an image of one that's not doubled, because we've seen a few of them that have the stem on the wheat stalk doubled. That extra thickness. Here's a 1928S, and this one here is the S over S mint mark. That's a pretty nice one to find here. You can really see the spread on that. And here's the 29D. And you can see the Liberty. You know, a lot of people can mistake this one for contact marks. You know, and it's very important to study all areas of the coin and not just one area. You know, there's going to be little things that's going to clue you in, like a little die mark here. You just want to make sure that you're looking at the coin, the entire coin, all of it, not just one part of it. It's very important when you're looking at these varieties. 1929 plain, and this is the double die reverse. Remember, when they don't have mint marks on Lincoln cents, they're from the Philadelphia Mint, and that is normal. Here's a little die mark in the ear. You can see the E plur, as I said before, E pluribus unum. That's one of your plates. Here, look how much thicker the wheat stalk is. That's one of the important things here. You know what to look for. Look at the wheat stalk thickness, and look at the unum and the E pluribus, and then look at the I. You know, and then once you identify it, or at least look at those areas, then you can look at the rest of the coin and see if there's any die marks here on copper coins or Konica, Variety Vista, or Wexler's double dies to see if you got any matches. Here's a 1929S, and this is a repunched mint mark. You can see a little bit of the serif split here, which is actually not a split, it's just the underlying first punch and with the second punch on top. And here's what the date looks like. Here's other little areas that shows you some, might help you identify this one. And it doesn't mean that every one of these, you got late die stage, you got medium die stage, and you have early die stage. All those stages have different die marks, or can have. Right here's one on the 9, and then you got your reverse die marks. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, I try to tell everyone, you know, look for your stages as well. So that's it for these. And I hope that helped you with what to look for and help identify some varieties. And thanks for watching my video. Please like it, share it, and comment. Get the word out. Let people know what they can find and how they can identify it. That's probably more important here with these videos than anything. If I teach you anything, it's how to identify your varieties properly and weed out the junk. So thanks for watching again, and have a great day.